Hey there everybody, Matt Lawrence of HopkinsSports.com with your 2018-2019 women's basketball season preview. I'm joined to my right by head coach Katherine Bixby, who enters her second season as the head coach of the Blue Jay program. Coach, I talked with Josh of the men's team yesterday, and when I look at the rosters of both your team and the men's team, there's a lot of parallels that I see in that you both bring back a lot of experience, a lot of players that have played a lot of minutes in their time here at Johns Hopkins. And when you look at ahead to this season, some increased expectations from your side from a season ago. How have your girls handled that so far in the preseason, and how much does it mean to have that much experience coming back from a season ago?
Yeah, that's a good question to start with, and I'm feeling like you set us up in front of this trophy case on purpose. I'm also feeling the expectations of our history kind of looming over my shoulders. We have been focusing day to day. We understand, from the beginning of the preseason, we understand the expectations. We do have a lot of returners that were the main contributors on our team. And, we didn't graduate anybody. So we understand this. We understand we want to get another one of these. But then we've got to focus on day to day. It doesn't all happen at once. And we've been focusing on our resilience. We've been really challenging them this preseason. They've been doing a lot more than last year in terms of the intensity of practices and what we're demanding out of them, and they've risen to those challenges, and we've been extremely impressed, and a lot of that comes from our leadership.
You kind of touched on what my next question was going to be as far as the biggest differences you've seen from a season ago in your first year to now. How much, now that the girls know what is expected of them, they know what's going to happen day in and day out at practice, how much has that just improved the overall quality of the practices?
Yeah, it's been huge. I think a lot of it also just comes from the fact that they want to win. And so they're holding each other accountable for that. They're in the gym a lot more on their own. They are showing up engaged mentally and physically, ready to go for practices. They're taking care of their bodies. They're doing the right recovery work. The intensity has just been really wonderful, and we haven't really had to ask for it. It's just been there.
We'll hear from Rory Cole here in a little bit. I just talked with her. And how have, Rory, Lillian, Lexi, Madison, four girls that are seniors this year, played a lot for this Johns Hopkins team. And then you throw in Maggie Spitzer as well, another senior on this team. How have they kind of brought along some of the freshmen that you've brought in from this season? And how's the chemistry been between those upperclassmen and the freshmen that you've brought in?
It's been really great. They are incredible leaders. They lead by example, and then they also are vocal in practices. They're positive. We really ask for positivity. A lot of our program focuses on player development, and they're huge in that. A lot of them are coaching their peers on the court, which, to have 5 extra coaches is really wonderful. They're leading by example again. That's, they're in the gym shooting. They get to practice early. They stay after practice. They are some of our hardest workers in practice. And when you have your 5 seniors that are showing that, it just trickles down and the intensity builds throughout the team.
I want to touch on the schedule real quick.
Yep.
Because if you look across the Centennial Conference, a lot of very talented teams. You look at the top at Gettysburg, Muhlenberg, Haverford as well as you guys. What are you doing in the non-conference to help prepare your team for that gauntlet that you'll face come, end of November into December?
Yeah, we're starting with York, which is, historically a pretty good program that's local. They're physical. They play maybe a different style than we do, which I think will really help us. They might speed our game up, which last year was a little uncomfortable for us. We're great in the full court, but in the half court, if we're getting pressured, we really need to work better in executing. So we're excited to play them. Another team is Marymount. Really similar, play really intense defense in the half court, so it'll speed up our offense a bit. We're starting at a tournament down in Mary Washington, and we start with Transylvania, which is a team from Kentucky, I believe. And similar, they're athletic, they're quick, they'll speed us up a bit, so we really wanted to challenge ourselves. We don't want to take anything lightly leading into the Centennial Conference.
And then finally, I'll leave you with this. With these 5 seniors on the team, I know it would mean a lot to them to make a run, not only in the Centennial Tournament, but to have a long postseason year as well. What will this team have to do to be successful at the end of the year and to hopefully make that run into March?
I think it goes back to what I said in the beginning. It's resilience. It's taking things day to day, not thinking too far ahead. We have to focus on what we've been expecting every day, which is intensity, accountability, focus. Those things will really take us in. I mean, it's a long season, so we have to show that we can take the ups and downs and continue to learn. These 5 seniors have improved just in the past 3 weeks, so we have to continue to learn and get better every day.
This has been head coach Katherine Bixby of the women's basketball team. The Blue Jays will take on York Saturday afternoon up the road in York, Pennsylvania. Be sure to follow Hopkins Sports on Twitter and on Instagram all season for everything you need to know about Johns Hopkins women's basketball. Katherine, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck this season.
Thanks, Matt. You're great at this.